Hello everyone. This video is about the basic building blocks in C. We call it as tokens. These tokens are the smallest individual unit of a program. It can be either a keyword, an identifier, a constant, a string literal, or a symbol. So in your C program, you use these tokens. So this video is going to tell you about all these tokens. First is the keyword. So keyword is nothing but a reserved word. It can be used only for the purpose it was created. So for example, in the earlier video, we declared a variable called int. So int is a keyword because this int can be used only as a data type. I cannot use this word int for anything else. So keywords are reserved words which can be used only for the specific purpose. Identifiers is nothing but a name given by the user to identify a variable or any user defined item. So identifiers starts with any uppercase or lowercase alphabet or an underscore which can be followed by 0 or more letters, underscores and digits. And identifiers does not permit any punctuation characters or special characters within that. Okay, so say for example in the variables. So variables are again an identifier. Okay, so that's going to identify the memory location, right? So it's going to identify the storage space where a programmer is going to work with. Okay. Say for example, just take this example short n. So short is again a data type. It requires 2 bytes of memory space. So when I say short n, that's a variable declaration. So what does it do? It searches for 2 bytes of free memory space and allocates that memory space to n. Assume in the diagram shown here, the colored blocks are already in use. So 1012 is free right now. So this 1012 to 1014 is free. That's 2 bytes is free. So this n will be allocated in that memory location. So n is going to identify that memory location. Whenever I say n, that n identifies the storage space 1012 to 1014. So n is a variable. Now what does this n holds? N is actually going to hold a short integer, right? Here, I have not given any value to n. So what happens? Whatever value was present earlier in this memory location allotted to n, that value will be for n. So that's why we say it's a garbage value. That is, so I have not initialized short n equal to 10 or something like that. So what happens? I have just declared a variable called n. It's of short type. So what does it do? As our earlier video says, it looks for 2 bytes of memory space which is free, allocates that memory space to n, and if I have initialized, that value will be allocated. But whereas here I have not initialized. So n already, that memory location already has some value, isn't it? Some program would have used it and there would have been some value. So that value will be the value of n right now. So we call it as a garbage value, right? Now constants. Constants are similar to variables, but the difference here is variables can be modified anywhere in the program, whereas constants cannot be modified. You can only use it, right? So once I define a constant, I can just use that constant somewhere in my program, but I cannot reassign some other value to the constant, but that's possible in the variable. So constants, there are 2 ways of defining a constant. So how do I declare a variable? Data type, variable name. Any variable which is going to be used should be declared first, right? Whereas constants, I have 2 ways of defining constant. One is using hash define. The other one is using const keyword. So what is this keyword? The const, this word is a keyword. That means this word can be used only to define a constant. I cannot use it for anything else. right? So now we are going to see these two methods in detail. So first one, to define a constant using hash define. So hash define is a preprocessor. So it has to be defined along with that hash include we'll do no. So along with that we'll have to define this. So you can see here the syntax here is, which is in red, hash define identifier value. Okay, so there is no semicolon. Please remember there is no semicolon, right? So let us see a program to print the area of a circle, right? What is the problem? So when you are given a question, please remember what we are supposed to do. The problem here is to find the area of a circle and print it, right? Now when the problem is given, what is that you should think? What is the process involved in it? So to calculate the area of circle, the formula is pi into r, right? R is a radius. So radius can depend, or radius can change based on the circle, right? So radius is going to be a variable, right? It's going to change depending on for which circle I want to calculate the area. Let us take pi. Pi, can it change? No. For whatever circle it is, the value of pi is always 3.14. So pi is a constant, it's not going to change. So it's more sensible to define this pi as a constant instead of a variable. So to define a pi as constant, how do we do it? Hash define. Your identifier name is pi. Hash define pi, the value 3.14. Okay. So you can see here, after hash include stdio.h, there is hash define, which defines the constant pi with the value 3.14, right? Now inside the main function you have this radius variable, and I am initializing the value of variable radius to 10, right? Now when you see it here, in this comment statement, pi equal to 3.147. If I try to write a statement outside the comment, then that becomes a problem because constants cannot be changed, right? So I cannot write pi equal to 3.147 after defining the pi because constants cannot be changed. I can just use it. Now I want to calculate the area. So float area equal to pi into radius. So why I am defining this area as float? Float means decimal value. So when I calculate the area, it's going to be 3.14 into r. So 3.14 is a decimal. So definitely my output will also be a decimal. So I'm declaring area as a float. And when I want to print, I just print whatever is within double quotes is going to be printed as it is. So area of circle of radius %d. So you can see the first variable is radius. Radius 10 is 314, right? So for float it is %f, right? Similarly, the same program, if I want to define a constant using const. So what will happen? The syntax here is const keyword followed by the type variable. So type, I should say here, constant const is the keyword. Then what data type my constant is going to belong to. Then my constant name equal to the value of the constant. That's how I should do. So you can see here const float, that's the data type, pi is the constant name, equal to 3.14. All the rest is the same. Okay, you declare a variable called radius, you declare a constant called pi and a variable called area, and you calculate the area of circle and store it in area. Then you print the area, right? Now other than this, there are string constants. So what is a constant? It's not going to change. It's going to be the same throughout. So what do you understand from string constant? String is a collection of characters. Can you remember it? In the printf statement, we write something within double quotes that's going to be printed as it is. So we call that as string constant, right? So when you put inside double quotes, that becomes a string constant. When you put inside single quote, it's a character constant. So x within single quotes, then x is a character constant. The meaning here is it's a constant of data type character which will not change throughout. It's going to be always X, right? So with this, I'm sure you'd have understood the basic building block of C program, token. Okay, so token forms the smallest unit of a program, to summarize, and tokens are identifiers, keywords, constants, variables, right? So variable should be declared before you use it. For defining constants, you can either use hash define. If you're going to use hash define, it comes along with the hash include. And if I'm going to use constant keyword, const, it comes wherever you want it to. And always inside your main function, you will have all the declarations completed. Only then your execution takes place, right? So with this, we conclude this video. See you in the next video. Bye.